And you're welcome. It's time for our parenting segment today. And today we're going to be talking about building your child's emotional quotient, that's EQ. And to help us with that is Omolayo Olawoye, the CEO of Light Hearts Consulting and Cradle Schools. You're a certified psychologist, am I correct?
Therapist.
Therapist, okay, that's for therapist.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thank
Morning.
you.
I've never really thought about this subject before, a
Yeah.
child's emotional quotient. Why is that relevant?
Okay, so I know that many people are used to IQ, which talks about your intelligence, right? But there is also emotional quotient, all right? There's a research that was conducted some time ago that found out that people with an average intelligence, right, IQ, they perform better, like 70% more than the people with higher IQ. And the difference was the emotional quotient, intelligence. Now, what that talks about is being self-aware, knowing yourself, and your interpersonal skills, how to relate with other people. I mean, that transcends intelligence. That has to do with feelings. That has to do with knowing who you are and who the other person is. Now, many of us are not used to it. So many parents do not even know what this is all about. So yeah, you get lesson teachers for your children. You invest in the academics and all of that. But when they grow up, they become adults. There is a gap because they are not socially aware, they are not emotionally aware, and there is a gap. So you see, when you begin to raise children to be emotionally aware, to know about their moods, to know when their mood changes, to know what they are feeling, it makes all the difference. They can tell you what is wrong. They can tell you what is going on. They can know a pedophile from afar. Yeah, because you sense that. I mean, so 90% of communication is nonverbal. It's not what we say, it's what we do. It's actually how we say it. So when a child sees someone, they can tell that this person has something, there's something off.
They can read the emotions.
Yeah, they can read emotions.
The intention.
Yeah, and that's why it's important that parents begin to look into building their children's emotional quotient.
So the next question has to be, how do you build these in kids? How do you know when to start? When does a child's emotions kick in, and when is it important to engage it?
I mean, you can engage as soon as you have a baby. Many parents forget that children are also emotional beings, right? So when you and I grew up, we were never really given a chance to express our feelings.
That depends. I don't know what decade you grew up in.
No, for real.
No, but I agree with you.
Yeah, we were never, given the chance to express our feelings, you know. Everywhere I get the opportunity to speak, I use this example of how your parents beat you, your mom beats you, and tells you not to cry.
Yeah.
Like, why are you crying? They forget that you feel pains, right? And so children are emotional beings, and it's important that you groom their emotions. Let them know that it's okay to feel. It's okay to talk about what you feel, especially for the male child, right? I'm sure you've heard where they say men don't cry, so man up, don't even shed a tear.
You're a boy.
Right? You're a boy. And that's totally wrong. So the boy grows up to become an adult who underrates their emotions, right? And so it's important that as they grow up, you give them a wide vocabulary of words to describe the way they feel.
And this has to do with actually sitting down and talking to them.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
is something most parents do not do. If it's about, okay, have you done your assignment? We have plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? How does that make you feel? Now, that's one thing. That's expression and communication, that verbal communication with the kids.
Yeah.
But then again, there's another school of thought that believes that as we grow and as we see, as we attend to the trauma that we faced growing up, that what we visit on our kids actually makes them softer. Like you've made that reference to us growing up in, what, 1980s? Or she grew up in the 2000s, all right, she's 16. But you made that reference.
Yeah.
And many would say that because of what we went through, we're breeding or we're bringing up softer children. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so, I mean, there are different angles to that. I know how that most parents will say, I don't want my children to go through what I went through, right? And I mean, it makes sense. The only thing is, what are the things missing in your childhood that you need to impart in your children? One of it is emotional intelligence.
Connection.
Yeah. You were never taught that it was okay to feel, right? And so it's important that you teach your children, right? And it's, I mean, you can't give what you don't have, and that's why parents need to start. So I usually recommend, with my clients, I usually recommend an EQ test that lets you know where you're at emotionally.
Okay, that's for the parents themselves.
Yeah, for the parents. It lets you know where you're at emotionally. Are you able to express, are you able to express empathy to yourself? Are you kind to yourself and other people? Are you able to understand people's nuances, the things they are not saying?
Exactly.
Right? If you're able to do all that, it's easy for you to even know when your child is hiding an emotion. And then you can...
So about that, when you discover that your kids are not being expressive and are hiding these emotions, how do you come at it as a parent?
So it starts from you showing your kids you're also human. Many times our kids look at us like the perfect. Yeah. You can let them know when you're upset and why. It could be from work. You get home, you're removing your tie, your jacket, and you say, today work was hectic. I'm actually upset. I made it. You know, let your child see that, oh, so daddy gets upset with other people apart from me, right? You let your kids know when you're sad, right? And tell them why. Of course, there are age-appropriate ways to say that, right? In case you don't want to bring them to the depth of things you're going through. But let them know that it's okay to be sad and to express it. It's okay to be angry and to express it. How do you express anger?
I don't know.
You know, I told some people over the weekend how that the way you express anger and fear right now as an adult is most likely the way you saw anger expressed when you were a child. Because that's what you saw. So when you have a violent father, because that's the way he expressed his own anger, you're likely to become one. All right? So you show your children the best way to express frustration, anger, failure, right? That way, your children will find it easy to also express their own emotions because they've seen you.
Fantastic. So I get that bit, yeah. So we're telling them how to be expressive, whatever the emotions are. We've talked about anger, failure, regrets, disappointment.
Yeah, guilt, all of that.
Do I tell my daughter I love you too much because I tell her every single day? Would that become too much eventually?
No, you can never...
Especially for... And compared to the boy child and the girl child, and there's another child. This one. Did I get it enough? Did I hear it enough?
Yeah, I know.
And, this is getting emotional.
Do you need an handkerchief?
I don't know. Does anybody have one?
Should I pat your back?
I wouldn't mind, but not now. But you see, that's it. Did I experience that enough? And am I giving enough to my child, a boy/girl?
Yeah, so I mean, many people didn't get it. They were never affirmed. They were never validated. They were never shown acceptance. And that's why, like we said earlier, you need to replace that in your children to say that I will affirm you. And you know, your first question, you can never tell someone you love them too much. We all need to hear this as often as possible. Words of affirmation, it's important, right? Now, when someone knows you love them and you say it often enough, when it's time to discipline them, they know it's from that love you've professed for a long time.
Keep the camera on this shot. Don't take it away. You're a therapist, yes?
Yeah,
so you're professionally capable of doing this.
Yeah.
I do feel emotional. And you offered for a pat on the back.
Yeah.
I'd like to have it, please. Can I have that pat on the back?
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Make sure that you do this to your kids, okay?
Yeah, you should.
Very important.
It's okay.
Let's move over to the kitchen. I'll be back. Can I have a tissue?